Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is the first episode of Game Analysis where we learn to be a better Star Battle player. Yes, that's exactly what I meant. I'm almost day 9 here, almost. And I want to analyze this game because that's one of the games we've played recently. I don't have too many replays, so if you want your replay to be analyzed, your game to be analyzed, just send it to scfrosty00@gmail.com. I won't repeat it, you have it on YouTube channel. I'm gonna write the email in the description and stuff. So, before we start analyzing the rest of the game, let's take a quick look at ship compositions and what they should focus on. So, red team, 2 Leviathans, Guardian, a battlecruiser, a carrier, and a Raven. So what does it mean? It definitely means that at least one of those 3 ships should have priority farming, probably 2. It means that 1 Leviathan should go for missile boat, which is kinda true here because Acheron already got 8 range. And Floris is staying at 7, going for tentacles. So 1 tentacle levy, which will probably have priority farm. This Leviathan, which will probably not have priority farm, at least for a while, but is acting like a missile boat, like a battle cruiser. Only that it's got different abilities, and he can use constant mutation and stuff. So battlecruiser, of course, missile boat opening 9 range, the carrier opening 5 scepters, very standard openings, and Guardian, you can either open 4 lasers or 2 range or something. It depends if you want to go anti-scepter or not. And Protoculture Raven opening standard with EMP. Now, so the strength of this build lies in those 3 ships. At least 2 of those. Okay, one needs a lot of farm. It's probably gonna be Floris who's gonna get a lot of farm. And one of those 2 is gonna take the other side of the map, and they're gonna try to farm up for Scourges or maybe for heavy missiles, etc, etc. So it's definitely a mid to late game build. Now let's take a look at blue team. 2 battle cruisers, 2 Leviathans, a carrier, and Raven. Also a late game build, but a little bit less late game. I mean, Zerg ships are late game ships, right? So if we count Zerg ships on both teams, 3 on the red team and 2 on the blue team, we can definitely tell that blue team is a little bit stronger in the beginning, but later it might be not so good for them. It's very similar opening, very similar build actually, only switching 1 Guardian for a battlecruiser. So this game should be interesting. Let's go. I won't introduce the players because it's game analysis, not a freaking cast. You're gonna see them in the replay. So right now we can see some fighter launches, and red team doing a slightly better job at launching their fighters. They launched an SM Wing, everyone at the same time. There was a slight mistake by blue team, but nothing too big, and they launched on Storm on me. So the Guardian got a little bit damaged, but it got less damaged than this Leviathan. What does it mean? It can mean one of the 2 things. It can mean that A, red team's launch was better, or B, red team is covering their allies better. So they are bunching up better and covering their allies better. Let's move onwards. And let's take a look. What's this ping? There's the ping, and they are sending on SM Wing again. Now what I want to say is that blue team is now in a worse position because 2 launches on 1 ship can deal quite a lot of damage, and if SM Wing is gonna get launched on again, this is gonna mean a lot a lot of trouble for blue team, because this ship, this Leviathan, this single Leviathan will have to go back. Look at this, 2 launches and he's already at 4k life, which means that he lost 9,000 life to fighters. Okay, so 1 more launch and he'll probably end up having about 1,000 hit points, and he will be forced to go back and heal, which will force a 6v5 situation for red team. Now I want to make you take a look at the positioning. Okay, team positioning. Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 red ships on the left side of the map. Okay, this is like the middle here. So this is left side of the map. On the right side we have only Floris, which definitely means that this ship has priority farm. This is quite obvious, but I want to start with the basics so everyone understands what this is about. And if someone is solo farming, you want to send at least 1 ship to try to prevent him from solo farming. Possibly it's a carrier with level 5 interceptors, so it denies their farming even better. Moving onwards, that was a pretty good push by red team. Blue team doesn't have the hit points to actually try to... Oh, that was a really bad move by Protoculture, getting EMP'd in the process. There's a fighter launch. They are a little bit too far away for it to be super effective, but it's gonna be quite good. And this Guardian should get damaged. Now Protoculture is out of position, and this is definitely gonna hurt this Raven. So let's analyze one more time. What pushed the blue team back? Launching fighters on SM Wing, right? Stripping him of hit points and therefore forcing a 5v4 situation on the left side. Now, what pushed red team back is Protoculture in trouble. So if he's out of position and he gets shot at by 2 battlecruisers and some fighters get sent on him and stuff, is a Raven. Is not a very tanky ship, trust me. And that definitely means that this team, the whole team, has to fall back. The whole side has to collapse because they have to cover the Raven. So that was a pretty good counter by blue team, and exploiting Protoculture's mistake. That was also a very nice EMP on top of 3 ships. Well, it's not like the Guardian is using any energy right now, but stripping Stadish and Olden BC, and the carrier from shields, off shields, stripping off shields, not from shields. What the hell? And now 1 more fighter launch. There we go on Raven Creek on the BC, and he's got no shields. Is definitely gonna be in quite a bit of trouble, but luckily he doesn't have his allies around him, and that's gonna hurt him even more. So red team relying on fighter launches, doing a really good job. Now let's take a quick look at the farming tab. Okay, I want you to take a quick look at the farming tab. Which ships had priority farm in those 4 minutes of the game for red team? Well, Protoculture 74 and Floris 86. Why Protoculture? Well, every time he was in the position of this Guardian. Okay, all the time on the left side, he was on the outside lane, somewhere around here, just farming, because well, it's not very useful in the beginning apart from EMPing, so he was just farming. And of course Floris, who's alone on the right side, but he wasn't able to farm that much because Zin the carrier, he was denying him pretty well. As you can see, interceptors are all around Floris, so he's gonna have a little bit of trouble farming here. Now the problem is that if you are denying a single farming ship, a solo farmer, you definitely need to watch your minimap, because as you can see now, Zin is quite far away from the base. I mean, is out of position definitely, and if they wanted to, they can try to cut him off, maybe not kill him, but severely damage him and prolong the period that blue team spends in front of their mothership, which gives them additional farm. Oh, excuse me, yeah, there we go, there's the ping. I don't think they're gonna go there with the whole team. Now, very important thing when trying to push out of your base. Okay, it's 5 minutes into the game. Red team is definitely not gonna go and try to upgrade yet. They will go back in like 4 minutes. But you want to force them to go back. So what to do? I think that the basic idea of pushing your enemies out of your base is being healed up. Okay. Also McClory, but not so much, I think. So let's see. Oh, and also you have to try to push with your whole team. You need to go all together. If you go one by one, you're gonna get shot at by 2, 3, 4 ships, and you're not gonna push out of your base, okay? So, what's happening here? SM Wing is trying to push. He's getting shot at by Acheron, Oldent, Protoculture, and maybe Statish lasers. So, 4 ships shooting at him. Now, we are trying to push out. Aereo is leading. 1, 2, 3 ships shooting at him. Fighters being launched. GG. They are going back. In the meantime, McClory, the BC, is going back as well. So it's 3 versus 5 situation on the left. And, well, this Raven can do anything. Absolutely anything. By itself. So, and here comes the carrier. But we can't really leave this Leviathan alone, so he'll try to deny him as well, but that's not very effective at this point. Now blue team trying to push out. Now we have 6 ships, but even before it happens, I want you to analyze quickly the situation on the battlefield. Try to assume who's gonna win this push by looking at the health bars. Don't look at any fighters, nothing, just take a look at the health bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ships having at least 3/4 of their full life. Well, Oldent might be a little bit low. Okay. And solo farming Floris. Let's take a look at the blue team, the pushing team. 1, 2 ships at 50% of their hit points, and the one, well, McClory is over 3/4, and this BC is, well, around 3/4, maybe a little bit lower. So summing this up, who's gonna win the push? Well, that's right, you guessed it. So let's take a closer look. Another fighter launch on SM Wing, and he's gonna have trouble dealing with it. He's gonna lose life as well. Aereo can't push without him because he's got only 5k hit points, and that forces blue team to go back. Now Raven Creek getting damaged as well. He had some shields, but now he lost almost all of them, being kited by this Leviathan. Wait. This is a Leviathan? No, it's not. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Now, this is something good. A fighter launch by blue team on red team's Raven. This is pretty cool because, as you can see, the Raven is getting severely damaged. And he can't stay there anymore because one more launch, or if he's gonna get out of position, or one more launch, it's gonna be really bad. Now Floris getting closer to the middle, but look at his upgrades. 1.7, 15 armor, level 12 tentacles. Why? Well, take a look at the farming tab. Floris, 236 score. Now, team score is 1070 to 780 to the red team. This is because blue team is unable to push red team back at least to the middle, not even saying back to their base, but at least to the middle of the field, okay? And the cause of this is, again, this, I don't know if I can see, yeah, and this. 3 ships and that have low health, and they are trying to push out before healing up. So let's analyze the farm for a while. Okay, protoculture. I've already mentioned it. Now he's in the middle as a Raven, but he's got over 100 simply because he was to the left all the time, and he got quite a lot of farm there. Storm, me, the Guardian. Look at my positioning. This is my position for last like 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, I'm to the left. I switched with protoculture. I switched with the Raven, and this is my position. This definitely can be assessed by only taking a short look at a quick look at farming tab. Farming tab. That's right. And of course Floris, he was on the right side all the time, and you will say wait, Zin was on the right side as well all the time. He was trying to deny Floris, and he was farming at, well, let's say not exactly the same rate, but he was farming pretty hard, right? And he's only got 150 and Floris is at 236. Well, there's a very simple answer to this. Floris was farming from the middle of the map to the enemy base of the map, okay? So he had the whole lane here. And Zin, well, he was farming in the same area. So he was farming close to his base and some in the middle of the map. If you are farming in front of your base instead of farming in front of enemy base, you're getting way less farm. That's pretty obvious, but again, I just want to make everything clear. So what is happening right now? Floris just, you know, he's got enough upgrades to just start tanking quite a lot of damage, and he will still try to stay a little bit to the right, but now he will be engaged in more and more fights. And well, this is what's happening. More interceptors, more fighters being sent on the weak Leviathans. Now, one more thing which is very important. In the beginning of the game, Leviathans are really weak. Okay, I repeat, Leviathans are really weak. What does it mean? It means that if you make a coordinated fighter launch on a Leviathan, it can be even more effective than launching on a Guardian. And everyone knows that Guardians are very squishy, and in the beginning they have like absolutely no defense against the fighters. Only 3 armor. They can get some lasers, but they are very squishy. And the same applies to Leviathans. If you open with constant mutation, you don't have enough money to actually be really buff. You can open with 4 tentacles and no speed and no range, which is kinda anti-fighter, but you are still very slow. You don't have any range, and you're gonna get eaten by fighters anyway, unless you get this level 6 armor in the later game. So more fighter launches denying Leviathan's farm. This is very important. It's denying Leviathan's farming. Now Protoculture making a mistake of staying around the ships that can launch fighters, and now he's gonna pay for it. He's gonna be orange, yellow to orange, yeah, orange hit points, and it's forcing the whole team to go back because I won't get it back. But you probably noticed how Acheron, how the Leviathan had to move after the Raven, because the Leviathan's role is to help clearing a fighter launch, okay, and trying to stay in a bunch, in a clump, will definitely help fighting off those pesky fighter launches. But those two ships needed to fall back from here to here, okay, and the three allies, this carrier, this battle cruiser, and this Guardian especially, oh, I'm in a lot of trouble here, they had to fall back from this position to this position. Okay, the whole team is forced back because of two ships being forced back by fighters. So that is something that is very, very important. It's 9 minutes, so it's not so bad for red team to go back right now, because, well, they had their farming period, but they might be in a bit of trouble, in quite a lot of trouble actually. If this Guardian is gonna get focused by 4 or 5 ships, it might die. I don't know what Protoculture is doing. Just go back with your Raven, because you have lowest hit points. And again, something very important. Why would you farm as a Leviathan? Why would you give a priority farm to the Leviathan? Well, that's why everyone's going back, and the Leviathans are just kiting and tanking damage. I mean, this one is not tanking, but he's kiting. He's got level 7 missiles, right? And this one is just tanking damage. He's got tentacles, close range, levy, 19 armor, 1.7. It's just tanking damage for the whole team, and he can stay alive for way longer than this Guardian, or this Raven, or this battle cruiser. And one last thing. Look at this. Look how much it did cost blue team to push out of their base. They were not fully healed. They did a nice fighter launch, but they still got severely damaged. Look at this. 4k hit points, 6.5, 7,000, 5,000. Zin losing more than half of his shields, most of his shields, and Grand Admiral just staying in the back, but he's gonna get damaged as well if he's gonna get kited by this levy. And now they can't even stay anywhere near the middle, because those two Leviathans are gonna damage them, and in 1v1 situation they are gonna definitely win. Look at this. Flores is just pushing. It doesn't care. It's just pushing, and blue team is forced to go back. They are not going back because they have tons of money and they have to upgrade. No, they have below. Everyone is below 300. They are going back because they were pushed by 2 Leviathans. And by the time they get back to the middle, well, guess what? The whole red team is upgraded already. Okay, now oh, I'm sorry, it's very early in the morning. So pretty stand. Oh, wait, where's the zoom in? I want you to just take a look at this Raven and just try to see what's wrong with it. That's right, he's freaking yellow. He's just got out of the base and, well, he's not healed. What does it mean? It means that he didn't do his job properly. And now they're gonna launch interceptors on him again, and he's gonna be in a lot of trouble again. So that's definitely a mistake. Now also, I want to take a look at the builds. We're past 10 minutes. I want to take a look at what everyone has. SM Wing, going for Tentacle Leviathan. However, you would like to have 1.7, not 1.6, if you are going for Tentacle Leviathan. But that's acceptable at this stage of the game. He's got armor. He's got some health upgrades. He should have a little bit more. And he's got tentacles, right? Same applies to Flores on the other team, but he's got a little bit more farm, so he's 1.7, and he's got more tentacles and more hit points, 14,600 to 13,800. Now what else? Aereo is going for Tentacle Levy as well, but he upgraded his range. That's not what you want to do. I mean, the upgrades here definitely imply that you are going for Tentacle Levy, right? Armor, tentacles, and hit points. That's it. So why are you going for the range? This is a waste of money. Don't do it. Don't mix concepts. Don't change your concepts in the middle of a game. Well, you can change it if it's really necessary, but you're gonna be way weaker. As if you start as an energy boat, for example, as a carrier, you don't go for heavy scepters, just go for energy. You're gonna be way weaker in the late game. If somewhere around 40 minutes you decide to switch to scepters, you know, you're gonna be way weaker in the energy area and in the scepter area. Two separate areas, two separate upgrade paths. So try not to switch your concepts in the middle of the game. If you are going for a missile boat battlecruiser, stay with the missile boat battlecruiser, right? Analyzing the upgrades, yeah, missile boat battlecruisers for blue team, missile boat battlecruiser for the red team. This is definitely a better build. It's 1.6. It's okay. He's got 10 range. He's got level 7 missiles and 7 attacks, as you can see above the 10 here. 7 attacks. And those guys, well, they have 7 attacks as well. But they don't have their lasers upgraded. They need to go back to upgrade the lasers right now. They are low on hit points. This is not looking good for them. And they have only level 3 missiles. I don't know why is he going for armor or something. Just save your money. Especially, I mean, look, if you have, for example, let's take a look at farming tab. Let's say you are Raven Creek, okay? For this one, where is Raven Creek? This. Oh, perfect example. You are Raven Creek, right? You have 73 score. You have the lowest score on your team, and you go back to base. You upgrade, and you have 30 minerals left. Okay, and very common mindset is that when you have 30 minerals left, you just dump 25 in something like armor, like shields. This won't hurt you, right? Wrong. This will hurt you because you have the lowest farm on the team. If you would be Floris in this situation, where's Floris? There he is. Look at him. He's got a ton of useful upgrades. He's got highest farm. So in comparison to Raven Creek's cost, this is the upgrade. I mean, if he would even get level 1 Mutalisks just to dump 25 minerals, in comparison to Raven Creek's 25 minerals, that's nothing. I mean, 73 to 365. Just you have to get 73 times 5 and 365 times 5, and now you get the number of minerals both of them got, right? So that's nothing in comparison. So my point is that if you have a ton of minerals, if you really are over farmed, you can afford to dump 25-30 minerals on unnecessary things, right? Like Tentacle Levy getting I don't know, even 1 range more. If you have a ton of farm, dumping those minerals or just dumping them into level 1 missiles, something. But if you are very low on farm, you can't afford. You just need to buy a lot of important stuff that is going to be really useful later in the game. So you can't afford to really dump your minerals into anything. So more upgrades. Standard carrier. There we go. Zin dumping 25 minerals into shields. take a look at his farm. He's got 186 farm. He can afford to do it compared to his teammates. But if you will be Raven Creek or Aereo, that's a heresy. In my opinion, that's a heresy. So let's go. Let's see the upgrades. The Raven going for defensive matrix. Now you might ask, why not PDDs like Grand Admiral? Well, take a look at the missiles. Level 3, level 3, level 0, level 0, no missiles on this ship. Nothing. Okay, nothing. You've got absolutely no damage on the missiles, right? Now take a look at the red team missiles. Flores is going back. Flores has got no missiles, but Old End level 7, Acheron level 7, okay, and lasers as well, level 6 lasers on the Guardian. So a laser boat Guardian is pretty strong, and you really need those PDDs to stop him, because if he's got like level 13, 14 needle spines, they deal tons of damage, and he's got additional acid spores to even make the damage larger if he's chasing you. So you definitely need them, those PDDs. And Statish, the final upgrade here. A Vortex. Why a Vortex before feedback? Well, because those battle cruisers are going for missiles, so there's no energy denial. If you don't have to fight the energy, you just have your energy free and you can do whatever you want with it. So a Vortex, it's not gonna get denied, only by the Raven. But alright, so this is the reasoning for the PDDs and against the PDDs in both of those situations. What else did I want to say? I don't know. Just a second. Oh. That feels better. So again, blue team going back to upgrade, but they are going one by one, and SM Wing is getting pushed back to base. This Leviathan is getting pushed back to base. Why? Well, you can see it in the energy of the Guardian that is using Scourges. And this Leviathan was definitely not expecting Scourges, so he just got damaged, and now he's got to go back to base. Those two levies were trying to go for a kill here, but they were a little bit late. Now let's take a look. Flores, he's got tons of minerals, he's got Frenzy, he's got Rapid Regen, everything that you would expect. And now a funny situation, because what's the reasoning for this BC to be here? Let us think. Now you can say warp trick, right? But if he goes for a warp trick, then why is this Leviathan here? If you go for a warp trick, you just go into enemy ships and everyone warps in. Also, if this would be a warp trick, you have to remember that SM Wing is heavily damaged, and he can't just warp in because he's gonna get killed, right? So this is a little bit cheesy and tricky, and at the first glance, if you are on the red team, at the first glance it's just like, warp trick, they're gonna warp on him. But if you use your brain and actually think, hey, we've damaged the Leviathan, the other Leviathan, I think they can see him. No, they can't. Well, I think they saw him earlier. The other Leviathan is here. It can't be a warp trick, right? He's just playing it badly or something, because, well, they can't warp in on him. They don't have anything to try to damage us. So the Farm Fest continues, and if you take a close look, score 1750, 1200 for the blue team. So that's a pretty huge difference at this stage of the game. We're only 15 minutes into the game right now. And another use for defensive matrix, you just use it on those ships that get launched on. Alright? So that prevents, you know, that definitely stops, hard stops one of the methods to try to push out of your base. If you're gonna send fighters on the same ship like 2 or 3 times in a row, you can try to push him out and therefore push the whole team back, because it's gonna be 5 versus 6, right? But if you have defensive matrix, you can stop this method and make them think about something else, maybe some vacation time on Bahamas or something. So again, fighters, they are trying to push with fighters. I might be out of position here, but it's gonna be okay. I'm not too much out of position. Now, this is a very good replay, because I can also show you what to do if you are slightly out of position. If you are very much out of position, nothing will save you, unless there will be a miracle performed by a raven or something. But if you are slightly out of position, you know, I'm not going to show you, or actually, who cares? Actually, who cares how long the game is? Okay, so I want to show you this exact moment. This exact moment. Poof. There you go. I am out of position. The Guardian is out of position, right? The whole bunch of ships, 5 ships are here. The Guardian is here. So if we take a look, oh, this is looking from our base perspective, right? This definitely shows the distance to the base. Look at this. I have the same distance to our base as those 5 ships, which is definitely not beneficial. You might not see it, or this way, right? They are even closer to our base than me. Okay, so that's how you do it. I'm slightly out of position. If I would be heavily out of position, I would be right here now, and there would be absolutely nothing that could be done to save me. But take a look. There's a ping, and the whole team is switching, going left. Okay, now we switch the targets. We're not going back to base, we're going to this spot, to this certain spot, which means that we are equally far away from this spot, right? So we can just easily bunch up again. And Floris is doing his job of tanking because he's got 9 armor and almost 15,000 hit points. Okay. What else? What else there is to this game? So the build orders. Xin again dumping 30 minerals into shields, getting only interceptors. I don't know if he's got any capacity upgrades, or he's just going with 10. But that's okay. Look at this. This Leviathan is pushing the whole blue team back. And he's going to decide to farm. There you go. And now he's going to frenzy because he had energy, and he's going to damage this BC, and he's going to damage this Leviathan as well. And very nice usage of defensive matrix, and he's still in game. And then he's going to use rapid regen ASAP. There we go. And he's going to be back to full health in no time, and it goes on and on and on and on if you are playing an overfarmed Tentacle Levy. Also, different styles of play. Tentacle Levy, as you just noticed, is in front of the enemies, tanking the damage. Missile Boat Levy, let's take a look. Poof, missiles. Oh, that's a wide turn. You don't want to do this. Come on, show me your gameplay. But look how he's keeping distance from the enemies. It's not engaging, he's just keeping the distance, like this battlecruiser. They are just keeping the distance. Look at this, keeping distance, launching missiles, going back, kiting all the time, kiting. The same applies to the Guardian, right? Kiting, and you know, it's called moonwalking actually. Kiting and moonwalking. And look at this. I will actually show you this because that's the final moment of the game. And you have to spot the mistake, okay? I'm even gonna slow it down. You have to spot the mistake. Take a look at the blue team. Okay, blue team. Spot the mistake. Okay, no, it's not carrier warping back. No, it's not BC having no shields. It's this little thing. Oh, Raven? Raven has no shields. No, it's Raven being in the front line. Take a look at this Raven. If we take a quick look from this side, you know, this is not a line. This is more like a line. Okay, this Raven is not in the front line. It's far away from those ships. Those are damage dealers, right? It's far away from all four of them. Meanwhile, one ship shooting at Grand Admiral. I think, well, he may have thought that this PDD, point defense drone, has some energy, but it's got none, and now all those missiles are gonna hit, right? And he's not going back. So if I'm gonna zoom in, you can see those needle spines starting to hit him as well, and those missiles. So he's getting shot at by two ships right now. Okay, now there joins the third ship, a Leviathan. Well, he just finished his frenzy, but he scared those two Leviathans. They were 2 versus 3, and they went back, and this Raven didn't notice it. So what we have here is a kill situation. Now normally you have to cover. You have to cover, but the cover was too late, and there we go. There's the explosion. Really? Oh yeah, there's the explosion. And it's suddenly 6 versus 5. And it didn't even involve the overfarmed Leviathan. And blue team just gave up. So, just to sum up this game, starting from the end. 1. I showed you the importance of positioning. Okay, if you are slightly out of position, it's usually fixable, like I've shown you with the Guardian running to the left side. This Guardian running to the left side. Okay, but if you are out of position heavily, and that's what happened to, this is gonna be okay, and that's what happened to oh, I'm gonna show you a save as well. And that's what happened to Grand Admiral, the Raven, blue team's Raven. There's absolutely nothing that can be done. I mean, both Leviathans tried to cover that Raven, but it just died. Oh look, I'm killing Ario here. And meanwhile, look at this beautiful saving vortex. Look at this. Poof. Everyone in a vortex, floor is safe, using rapid regen. I killed him here. He's no more. So the importance of not getting out of position. Okay? That's the first and most important lesson that we are getting from this game analysis. The second one is don't dive. No. The second one is, even if you have two quite similar builds, It's the execution that matters. Okay? Which means that even if you have different builds and you lose 2 or 3 games in a row versus a certain build with a certain build, it doesn't mean it's bad. It may mean it's bad, but usually it means you're not doing it as good as you should. Oh, the replay finished. Okay? Because they were pretty similar. The only difference was Guardian for a BC, which means more pushing power for blue team in the beginning. Okay, where was it? Where was it? The whole game? I mean, I haven't even shown those 2 prisms throughout the whole game. I was only somewhere around here. The whole friggin' game. And I wanted to make a 3rd point. Yes, I know what it is. It's a very, very obvious point, but we're going back to the beginning of the game. Actually 2 points. That's my brain is working today. That's great. 1. You need a designated ship to try to overfarm the others. Why? And it's usually a Leviathan or a Void Ray. Why? Void Ray for killing, Leviathan for tanking and killing. Have you noticed how much damage did Floris tank throughout the whole game? He was constantly in the front line, constantly tanking, constantly dealing damage with frenzy, and using his rapid regen to constantly stay high on his hit points. Armor, health upgrades, tentacles. Farming tab 681. Okay, an overfarmed levy works miracles. And this is me. I used Scourges to a pretty good extent, and I'm only a little bit lower on farm. Right now Scourges are pretty good. 2nd point, and the final one. Fighters work miracles in the beginning if you launch them correctly. There was 1 correct launch from blue team, and I believe it did like 2000 damage to this Guardian, and then there were like 3 good launches from the red team, and they completely devastated a Leviathan. Started devastating the other one next launch, and that was pretty much a GG in the beginning, because the overfarm was huge, and they made sure that both Leviathans stayed low. So priority targets for your fighters are Zerg ships, Leviathans and Guardians. If you don't want to do it, and if you don't trust me, that's fine. But if you want to send on a Raven, for example, that's fine. But remember that Uncle James, Uncle Uncle James said that those are the best targets, Zerg ships. If they farm a lot, they become really powerful, so you want to deny their farming. If a BC will farm a lot, it won't become as powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope I wasn't too chaotic. I'm still not in the correct mindset for casting, but it's gonna change in a few days. Write your comments, write your own thoughts on this game, your own small analysis below this video or somewhere. And well, stay frosty, and I hope you enjoy this. Remember that if you want your game to be analyzed, send it on scfrosty00@gmail.com. The address is gonna be below this video. See you guys.